It feels like there are so many print magazines folding as opposed to the other way around.
But there's also a lot of independent magazines coming up.
I love magazines.
Oh, good. You have to find
Good
us.
magazines anyway.
You'll have to find us.
Yeah, we're
Okay. So, what does this project mean to you? What made you want to work with Elix and Water for the People?
I don't get often approached for charity events, and this was one of the first ones that has ever really kind of I've crossed paths with, and it's just such a. I love the project just because it's such a fundamental necessity for like the whole of humanity.
Absolutely.
And something that so many of us just that take for granted, just having running water, and it almost should be taken for granted because it's just quite a standard thing.
It's
and
a
the
human
fact
right
that,
to have water.
it's the most basic human right, and the fact that they're in this time and day and age that there are still so many people who don't. It was just a no-brainer, and also I love the fact that that Water for the People really focus on sustainability within their projects as well. It's like I feel like a lot of charities kind of show that have a very good intention, but once they've come and done their job and gone away, it doesn't necessarily do a whole lot of long-term benefit. Whereas with Water for the People, it just seems so much about sustainability and working with communities to be able for them to be able to maintain their own water supplies, which is it's a really a much better way, I think, to it's got more consideration and long-term longevity. That's the word. That's why I thought it would be really a nice charity to support and be involved with.
Great. Yeah, good. You probably get asked questions about your childhood all the time. You must be so tired of answering them right now, I guess. But here they come.
Here they are.
So what was your childhood like growing up as one of the children of one of the UK's most obscene and influential punk rock bands of the 70s?
I feel like my childhood was probably remarkably regular and normal, considering the obscenity that my dad kind of was involved in. He did a great thing and was in an amazing band that I am like a genuine fan of, and just so influential, but at the same time he's like the most down-to-earth, humble human, like very genuinely.
I saw a really small clip of your mum and dad on YouTube.
Oh, really?
It was just, they were literally on the street and it was their friend filming them. I'm not really sure, it just popped up.
That's so
and
funny.
they just seem so down to earth.
My upbringing was nothing extravagant at all, apart from the fact that I guess I was just surrounded by a lot of kooky fun people more often than maybe most people, but I don't know, it's my normal, so that is what you make of it, I guess. So, it was pretty colourful, but at the same time very, very regular. Disappointingly so, probably, for most people too.
Do you have the same anti-establishment views? I actually heard from one of your band members that you don't do many corporate events, that this is quite a rare one-off.
Oh, yeah, no, I rarely do corporate events. This makes sense, and I see slightly less corporately because it's a charity, and that's when corporations are doing the good things that I feel like a lot more of them could and should do. I'm not, in any way I wouldn't say that I was kind of active or an activist in that with my stance on various thoughts and things, but that's just because I'm a quiet person. I think that the rebellious gene is a gene that has followed on through in me. I'm just a very quiet little rebel.
So what is it like having Boy George as your godfather? Obviously, from our perspective, he's just like this kind of. He's such an icon, and you know you're so close with him. Obviously it would be your
cool, man. Like it's one of those funny things. Like I've always been very aware of who he was and is. Like I knew about culture clubs, just like I knew what my parents were about. My parents showed me and played me so much music, and I saw music videos, and like my mum is in a few culture club videos. So as a kid, I used to
back in the 60s.
in a very early lineup. So, but you know, George was around and not around, probably less around in my childhood. I didn't see him a lot, but I knew who he was. More in the last like 5 years, he's kind of, you know, faced his demons and kind of like come to a more zen, serene way of life than he was like notoriously known for a few years before. And he's back making music, and since I've been making music, he's been far more present and very encouraging and sort of, you know, there and trying to help create opportunities for me. So yeah.
Any chance of a collaboration?
I mean, we have sung together before recently, and I'd like to work with him probably. I mean, he's a great songwriter. I'd love to know. Well, we've spoken about it. It's just never worked out timing-wise that we can actually.
Do you write your own
work
music as well?
Yeah, not all of it, but yeah, I do. Yeah.
Were you close to David Bowie? I know he babysat for you. Was he a huge influence in your life?
David Bowie is a massive influence in my life, one of the biggest, but not because, I mean, he wasn't in my life. That, again, like, it's kind of one of those very random stories that came about one day, and, you know, PR has sort of, like, latched onto it to try and make me seem more interesting in some way, I guess. So, you know, like he's not necessarily. When I met him when I was very young, I knew who he was, and I was like, wow. But I was only 10. If I had met him even 5 years later, it would have been a completely different ballgame. But I was just a kid, and I thought he was cool. I think he's very cool. My parents, like, I cut my teeth on David Bowie, and he's like, I've grown up listening to his music, so yeah, he's the one really.
Do you remember like meeting?
I remember meeting him. Yeah. It was kind of like a brief thing, and me and my mum were in New York, and we met him. I can't remember where we met him. Again, yeah, childhood memory, so kind of hazy.
Okay.
Have you got like 1, 2 more?
Just a couple more. So, since your parents were punks, what influence did they have on you personally and musically? And how did you get into reggae? Would you say it's from like, more like maybe your mum's West Indian influence, or is it your West London upbringing?
I think it was more. I mean, you know, my parents weren't punks by the time I was born. They were kind of, you know, getting on with their lives. Punk wasn't a thing, I guess, as much by the time I was born. I was born in the mid-80s, so music had really moved on by then. But, you know, just as musical people, they've always had a big influence on me, and I guess I just have gravitated towards music as my main interest. I got into reggae on my own though. Of all the kind of music that they played me, reggae wasn't ever really one of them. I don't know why. I've asked them since, because it does come up a lot, and I'm like, why did you not really play me reggae? And then it's like, I don't really know. Like, my dad was a big like ska and rocksteady fan when he was very young, so I guess that was more of like, you know, in the late 60s, early 70s, when, you know, when Jamaican music was you know, coming into England and West London in particular. So maybe it's just not something that he really listened to as much in his later life. I just had a group of friends who were really into reggae, and I was in the Slits for a long time, and they had a huge reggae influence, so being in that band really kind of opened me up to reggae a lot more. And yeah, just I think from my mid-teens I started going to more reggae nights and just got into, just kind of, it was my friendship group really that kind of got me more on the reggae thing.
Great. So what do your parents think of your music? Are they supportive? Are you still close to your parents now?
Yeah, I'm too close to my parents probably. I'm an only child, so I'm heavily involved with my parents. We're all like, you know, we're all very, very close-knit family because it's just the three of us. So, and they've always been, and yeah, that's the other thing, you know, only child syndrome. So they very much just, whatever I was into, they were up for encouraging. So I was,
amazing.
you know, that implies really that I was quite
They must
spoiled.
be so pleased you've gone into music as well.
Yeah, well, we just got a lot in common in that way. I think that, you know, if I decided to be a dentist, that could possibly really alienated me from my parents anyway. But yeah, so probably a relief. But also, yeah, they knew where I was coming from, so they were massively supportive always.
Oh, amazing. What was it like touring with the Slits? You left school to tour with them. You know, what did you learn from that experience, and how did it happen?
I just sort of ran away with it, really, to be honest. I joined the Slits when I was about 19, and it was like, it was absolutely like, I can't even really explain it. It was the most amazing thing. It was like the most exciting, cool thing that I could have done, and it was really unexpected, but it was also 100% instrumental in me carrying on doing music and having the confidence to be a solo artist, and just being around very strong women for a very intense period of time between the age of like 19 and 25, when you're figuring all your woman shit out.
That's incredible.
You know, it was better than any kind of school that I could have gone to, for music, for life, for womanhood, for everything. It was invaluable. That's the word I'm looking for.
So tell me a little bit about your upcoming album, because you did mention you're going to release it. What can we expect?
You can expect more of the same, but it's kind of different. Like, it took me a long time to get to wanting to write an album. I feel like I've been through a lot emotionally and in my life since I wrote my last album, which is, you know, just what happens when you get older and you experience things. So I don't know, like, this one was like a bit more of an emotional experience for me. This one was very cathartic. So I feel quite emotionally attached to this one. I think I've put like a lot more of me into it in a more unapologetic way. It's a reggae album still. I don't know. I'd say it's maybe a bit more poppy. It's very different in the sense that I'm not working with Prince Fatty on this one, who's the producer I worked with on my first two. So I'm working with Youth, who's a great producer, and yeah, man, I'm really excited. I don't know when it's going to come out yet. It's not finished yet, but it will be soon. Oh my god. Speak to you later.
Yeah, you will.
So no, don't be silly. So we have like 10 questions we ask everyone. They're just quick fire ones.
Okay.
If you want to do them, you can
Yep,
say no.
that's fine.
Yeah?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so what did you want to be when you were younger?
A dancer. Yeah.
If you could offer advice to your 12-year-old self, what would it be?
Stop caring and just be yourself. God damn it.
Good advice. You have 24 hours with no travel restrictions. How would you spend it?
With no travel restrictions.
Yeah, so it wouldn't take. There'd be like no time. You could,
Oh, I would
teleport.
like beam me up Scotty to like the Bahamas or the Maldives. The Maldives is where I would go. If
I'm
I
seeing a
could
lot
just-
of people in the
Why
Maldives at the
not?
moment, and I'm like wanderlusting. to
Sure,
go.
yeah, I'll take that one today.
What is the most exciting thing that has happened to you this year?
This year, I made an album. Yeah.
That is exciting. The film you can watch over and over again yet never tire.
Beetlejuice.
The song that always makes you emotional.
Oh. Always makes me emotional. Probably like Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
The end of that song, like, every time.
If you could spend an entire day with anyone uninterrupted, who would it be?
My granddad.
It is Friday night at midnight. Where are you most likely to be?
At home smoking weed.
Yes,
I don't
you're my spirit animal. This is like how we spend most of our Fridays.
Yeah, seriously.
What is your biggest vice?
Hot water.
Really?
Yeah, hot water. I know.
not much of a
I
vice.
was gonna say weed. Yeah, the combination of the two. It's either it's tea
Yeah.
or weed. I literally couldn't choose between the two.
How would you like to be remembered?
As silly and silly.
Okay, that's it. But thank you so much for your time.